Hey everybody, welcome to the
Hello.
show. Let me get the
What is
mic
going on?
set up. You might have an echo. I've learned it's just better for me to put my earbuds in after and not
Yeah,
risk.
probably. Yeah. Yeah, it's I think the latency may be a little off because I still got like 16 seconds for me.
Yeah, might be
Really?
some slow latency tonight.
It's probably just me.
Yeah, it could be.
Turns out it's just me. I'm just slow, ladies and gentlemen. It is a Monday.
I'm
Today
I'm not
does
gonna
feel like a slow
judge. I
Monday.
don't judge. If you're slow, that's cool. Let me switch this so you guys don't have a wonderful
Yeah.
echo and
Uh,
get you off my speakers and
Goodness gracious.
into my ear. Here we go.
Hello, everybody. Oh, hello,
We're good.
Koshida-san.
Oh, Koshida-san.
Hope you are well. Yeah, so let me just address the elephant in the room. My camera's extra bad tonight because my ring light broke. Oh
Hey,
yeah.
I've actually you got a slight, I can play with it a little bit. You got a slight bluish tint. I think I'm gonna take that blue out. I think if I take the blue out, you'll be okay.
Yeah, okay. Take the blue out. I may look like a different race altogether.
I think it's good.
Let's see, guys. This is gonna be live. Everybody's gonna see me like change hues live.
It's about as, maybe drop the contrast a little bit, brightness a little too much.
Just whatever you do, Jono, just don't make me disappear.
I know.
Or don't make me
oh my
like
God.
lock up.
Or
you know?
lock up. I know, right? It's like,
Just whatever you do.
all right, that's about as good as I can do. Actually, from what I see to what the people see is a big difference. So, like, you are
Yeah,
like, your beard
dude.
is just like, you're just, all I see is like the side of your face
like,
and teeth.
sunglasses,
And teeth.
you know?
Yeah, and teeth. That's it.
Yeah.
Like, but now they actually can see most of you. So,
There's a joke there, but then we'd be banned off
Yeah, we'd
the
be banned.
internet.
Yeah, I know. We'd be
Yeah,
called
for sure.
all kinds of terrible names.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. How's this Monday been for you, good sir?
Just watching the world burn on the internet.
Oh, yeah?
Wondering when it's all
Awesome.
going to end. Wondering when I'm going to get invaded here. You know, the usual stuff. Like,
You know, I feel like I've last week some of y'all that are in the know. Last week for me, I feel like I jumped into a time machine to go way back to Alpha COVID.
yeah.
Craziness. My
Yep.
goodness. Yeah.
You're in a interesting lock.
Oh man,
Ish
can't wait to
situation.
share the insanity with all of y'alls.
I know.
So in in honor
Actually, no. Actually, I think
of all
that Razvan said, he goes, try using the flashlight on your phone. That's what Mark's doing right now.
That's what I'm using right
you
now,
nailed
bro.
it, Razvan. I gotta say, bro, you're like on the wavelength. Literally, the only light he has on his face right now,
Yeah.
honest to God, is his
Is
phone.
from my phone.
His phone's like right here, and it's just
it's right here.
you
Dude,
nailed it. Totally nailed it.
Oh man.
So anyway,
Well, yellow background for Jono and then blue for me perfectly shows what's going on.
I
Okay,
think so
awesome.
too, and we do
Great.
blend together because like the background starts here, my yellow just kind of moves in that
Yeah,
way.
it's great. You know, guys, this is a temporary situation. You know, the thing that I've been teasing y'all with is finally coming to a close. Next week, I think I should be able to talk about it a little bit in some detail, not in great detail, but in some detail. I should be able to talk about it next week. So, that's something to look forward to. But yeah, let's get into what we may be drinking
Yes.
as of this evening.
Surprisingly,
you
what,
first.
what I'm
Actually,
drinking. What I'm drinking is I'm just gonna.
Oh, he's just gonna.
Imported by Suntory, surprisingly.
Really?
Really?
Oh, who would've
Suntory
thought?
Taiwan brings this in.
Man,
Interesting.
they just got the game just on
They're
lockdown.
on it, man. They're like rocking it. So, do you want to start or do you want me to start?
Well, how about this? Since yours is special, I'll go because mine's kind of straightforward.
Okay.
Mine only comes in a can. Also by Suntory Highball.
Oh.
So I'm drinking this is the
Oh, that's the good one.
the 9%, the 9% happiness
You got
highball tonight.
9%.
Yeah, so this is the fancy schmancy one. We saw this and producer's like, oh my gosh, that's the one you gotta drink. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I'll grab a highball or two. And she's like, no, this one. It's
Yeah.
stronger.
Number 9.
I'm like, okay.
It's only
All
we only
right.
do the 9% stuff here. Like everybody's
Yeah,
like,
that's
oh.
right.
And no, I've noticed too, like no one's ever called us out for like drinking like fruity beers and stuff. Like, oh, you guys drink
No.
fruity beers? They're 9%. You know, it's like,
Oh yeah. Like I think that's where things start is like a 6%, seven
Well,
percent.
4 for regular beers and stuff. Like Coors Light's like 4.5 or something like that. Miller Lite.
Oh yeah,
How many of those do you have?
2.
Oh, good for you. So for me, this is about 2 episodes too late. Not 2 episodes. This is a callback on 2 episodes ago. I'm going through because I mean basically it's pretty much the day of the show. Here's what I do. I about it's 9:30 p.m. for us here when we start the show, and about 7ish, I'm like, all right, time to go to 7-Eleven. I walk down and see what they got. It's always something new. I mean, these guys always are coming out with something. There's some seasonal something or other, and I'm looking through like, you know what? There's nothing really new, exciting in here. A lot of 3% stuff, which I don't want to. It's like just drinking fruit juice. So they have like the cooler of all their beers, the singles. They don't. By the way, in Asia, it's super rare to find 6-packs, and forget 12-packs and 24s. Just don't exist. They really don't.
You have to go to the
exist.
supermarket for those.
And even then, they're pretty hard to find. So everything's like singles or maybe a 4-pack. And usually the 4-packs, what I like here, come with some kind of cool glass or some promotional material.
Yeah.
Like always, you can get like the coolest Heineken glasses, Asahi, Sapporo, like all these really cool glasses that come with like a 4-pack. So I'm like a sucker for that stuff. I have like,
Oh yeah, for sure.
I have like every Japanese brand at least have one of their glasses in there.
That's how they sucker you in.
Yeah.
It's like, oh man.
But then you go around the other side. There's like another section, and it's got all the liquors, and there's small bottles. They don't do like they do medium, small to medium sized stuff. And you got to go like to a proper liquor store. But like you can get whiskeys and everything in 7-Elevens, which is pretty cool. So if you just want to go grab a little half pint of something, you can do it. Anyway, it rotates out. They usually have a selection of wines, Australian, French, maybe an Italian tossed in there. A lot of Chilean stuff here. And they'll have like different whiskeys. Always Suntory, always some other things. And then this time, if you were watching 2 shows ago, we were talking about the Super Bowl. You'll know.
Oh, there it is.
Back in
Jim.
college, I said I would do Jim and Coke
Oh yeah.
at the college game. So I saw Jim, and I'm like, all right, I got to do this. So it's a little
You
200
gotta do
ml.
it.
It's not bad. It's 135 NT, which is what? $6?
Oh, it's not bad.
6-ish US dollars.
Yeah, that's
bad.
probably a little bit pricier than here. No, actually, no, but we're about the same prices here. For that size, we're about the same prices here.
Which isn't bad considering that this came from halfway around the world. And
Or did it
very
just come
close-
from Japan?
No, it actually says manufactured in Frankfort, Kentucky. It says Jim Beam Distilling Company, Claremont, Frankfort, Kentucky, USA.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's actually from, well, hold on.
Imported by Santori.
I don't know. I can't read it. It's actually,
Taiwan.
wait. It has to be. Yeah. But what's interesting is the actual proper label. So usually they put some sticker on it, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if the light, if my camera will adjust and focus. You can
Yep,
see it like that.
got it.
Says
Yeah.
Jim Beam Straight Coke. You can see if you guys can read Chinese, like don't drink
and drive. Be safe.
Don't drink and drive down there.
Yeah,
That's the recycle symbol. By the way, in Taiwan, that's your price. They always put the price in a box.
Yeah, that's
on the
interesting.
back. It's interesting. So if you're wondering what the price of something is, you just got to know that it's in a little square box on the back. So
Right.
35 NT. And it just says all this stuff. But what's interesting is this is the proper label.
Oh yeah.
It's
Yeah, that's the
actually
proper
in
label. In Chinese.
Chinese.
Yeah.
So anyway.
So I wouldn't be surprised if that
flashbacks,
was
bro.
like sent in bulk, maybe to Santori, Japan, or wherever, and then they have the labels printed here, and then Santori here sticks the labels on them.
They might. They very well might because it might be it might be packaged in Japan
Mm-hmm.
or the Suntory Bottling Company here in Taiwan. That might be the case. I would be interested.
Could be.
But I'm pretty sure like Jim Beam's like Jack Daniels. They only make it in one place. That's a pretty good,
there you
that's
go.
a pretty good pour to start, right?
That's a good pour.
Considering I don't have any ice. I didn't make ice. I was not prepared for this. So, and by the way, I love that the Coke here actually uses real sugar and not corn syrup.
Oh, corn syrup's the best.
Corn syrup's only in the States, man. All right, let's see if I have like flashbacks of my. See if it's probably not strong enough. Like usually uni would be like this, and you like pour a little bit of that in there just for good measure. A little Coke.
Oh yeah. There you go.
That's about
Attaboy.
right now. There you go.
Attaboy.
What? About half a bottle to the? Yeah, that seems about right. About 100,
That seems
100
about
ml.
right. Yeah,
100
that
ml
seems
to
about right.
what's
Oh,
the ratio?
man.
600. So it's 100 to 300, 4 to 1, or
There you
three.
go.
Yeah, 3 to 1. I'm sorry.
We yesterday we went to go have some southern food, some diner food.
Oh.
Posted it on our Facebook page.
You showed me those photos when you had it done, and yeah, if you're not following Facebook, by the way, check it out.
Yeah, it's on our Hopped Up Facebook page. Had to go share it with y'all, with yous guys down there. But yeah, if you're in Hong Kong, I dropped a link in the link to the restaurant in the Facebook post. So go check them out. They're a bunch of American dudes that opened a southern restaurant here in Hong Kong. Very legit. Their fried chicken and waffles is very good.
You showed me Nashville hot chicken, and
Yes,
being
that's
a
part of the
Nashville
secret
boy,
menu.
I looked at it. I'm like, that's the first time because KFC tried the Nashville hot chicken thing.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen replications of Nashville hot chicken.
Yeah,
But yours, I'm like, oh,
was
wait a
pretty
minute.
good.
That looked
Yeah.
dang legit Nashville hot chicken. At least from
Yeah.
the images. And most people can't even like if you can get the color right, you know what's up. So I'm guessing the flavor was
yeah. The flavor was pretty on point. Like it did have the nice little bite to it. You know, smelled right. I watched them make it in the back. I just kind of turned and they had the bowl and they were you pouring the sauce in, tossing it. So for
actually
the
if
most
they're
part,
pouring the sauce in, you need to give these guys a schooling, man. It's not the way. It's
No, not the way.
That's the Korean fried chicken way. The proper way, and I've seen it in Nashville. I don't know if I may have told this in like an early episode. They use a dry spice. So you don't use a liquid spice. So if people don't know
Right.
Nashville hot chicken, right? Just think of any fried chicken out there, just standard bare bones hot chicken, right? And Nashville chicken's like bright red. So it's like the crispy outside, but there's like all this spicy, smoky. It's kind of like a barbecue rub, for lack of
Right.
better. Actually, it's technically used basically barbecue rub spices in it. American barbecue rub spices in it. And then it goes on the outside and it kind of soaks into the outside. But a lot of times when you put the sauce, unless you get it served like you got immediately, it gets soggy.
yeah. Oh, this was definitely not soggy.
No,
like
no, 'cause
I
it
think
was
they just
fresh.
they just tossed it real quick and then threw it on top of a really fluffy waffle, and then they served it to me. So in the restaurant, you have to specifically ask for a Nashville hot chicken on your waffle.
Oh, so
If
it's like a
not,
special secret.
It's a special.
menu?
It's a secret menu. Yeah.
Oh.
So one of the owners there, younger guy, he's like, "Hey, what brings you back?" I said, "Man, your chicken and waffles." He goes, "Have you tried our Nashville chicken and waffles?" I'm like, "No, I have not." He said, "It's part of the secret menu." I'm like, "Then make it so.
Yeah.
Do that."
You
Yeah.
had my curiosity. Now you have my attention.
Yes, that's
Or is
correct.
it the other way around? I always forget.
I don't know, something like that. And so it worked out. Like Sunday, yesterday was just a day of feasting, and that was just it. We just, the producer and I just went and had some food, support some local businesses, and that's it. We have a soft curfew. Everything's got to close by 6 o'clock.
So it's like living in a southern town on a Sunday.
But wait, there's more. But
Oh,
we'll
okay.
save that for later.
Oh, but wait.
But wait, there's more.
So by the way, if you
Grab
do want to
your
do Nashville hot
drinks.
chicken, the secret is you fry your chicken, right? And you take a bowl like you did there. So you put the chicken in. Well, actually, you wait for a second. You put some of the hot fry oil into the bowl, like a big metal bowl. You want to
Yeah.
so you actually take like literally from your deep fryer as it 200 degrees centigrade or whatever. You grab the oil, you throw a couple spoons of it to get a little base of oil in your bowl that you're going to do your spices. Then you take a dry rub mix, which is going to be your dry rub base, usually the spices that this guy's making a sauce out of. You throw those in that fry oil. Then the fry oil is super hot, right? So you
Yeah.
usually actually put the dry spices up first, then you throw the oil on top, and you kind of quickly do it so it blooms the spices, meaning it opens up the flavors because it's so hot. You'll get those spices, they all wake up. Then you throw your chicken on top of that you just took out of that same fryer, and you toss that. Because you're using the fry oil as a base and not a sauce that's usually sweet or has vinegar or has something, whatever your base is, the fry oil will actually, the oil soaks into the existing crispy chicken skin. It pulls those spices and everything down into the crispy skin or crispy outer layer of fried chicken. Not the skin, but like breaded fried chicken.
Yeah.
And then the crispy outer layer of breaded fried chicken stays crispy because of it. So
So good.
you never get sogginess. You never get whatever. Now you can't really do a sweet. We got sugar, I guess, to it if you wanted to, but the oil might burn the sugar. I don't know. I've never tried that. But Nashville hot chicken's not sweet typically. It's not like cream. But you did the waffles, so
Yeah.
you can add that sweetness of the maple syrup over
Yeah,
top.
add that maple syrup on top. So good. There's one bite I did it. I did with the waffle, the maple syrup, and they with the Nashville Nashville hot chicken. They also serve you a small cup of whipped cream, and I
Oh,
put a little bit of whipped cream on there, just some razzle dazzle, and it was so good.
wow.
Oh man, it is very good.
Wow. I am, yeah.
Yeah.
So, by the way, Bumpkin, congrats on having a Black Rifle coffee open near you in Georgia.
Oh, I know, lucky.
By the way, what part of Georgia are you in? I might be traveling to the States here in a couple months. Kind of it's on the radar plan.
Lucky.
I know. Sorry, bro. I know it's terrible. So, and I've got family in outside of Atlanta, just north of Atlanta. So I'm curious as to where you are, where this BRCC is, and I want to see if it's somewhere in the remotely near the Metro Nashville or not Nashville, Metro Atlanta area, and I could go visit. Because I'll be in Nashville, of course, that's home for me. And then I'll be around the ATL, like north of ATL. So, Marietta, okay, Curse, East Piedmont, perfect. I'm going to be a little further north of you. I'll be up in Canton. So, you know where that is, I'm sure, if you're Marietta. I actually, believe it or not, 3 years in elementary school, I lived on the Roswell Marietta border. And I went
Dude,
to.
aliens?
Yes, Roswell. Roswell, Georgia, not Roswell.
New Mexico.
So I live right Roswell. I lived in a neighborhood called East Spring Lake, and I went to Tritt Elementary School at the time. So I don't know if it's. I'm sure it's still there. So if you're in Marietta, you probably know where Tritt Elementary is if it still exists. I think it's on Post Oak Tritt Road, if I recall. I mean, this is like me flashing back to my childhood age, man. But yeah, East Spring Lake neighborhood, Post Oak Tritt Road, Tritt Elementary. That's where I went to elementary school for like 3 years. It was like first, second, and third grade. Fourth grade, like a couple weeks into the school year, moved back to Nashville. So.
Nice.
For those who wanted to know where I was hatched, there you go.
There you go. If you know geography, there you go.
So cool, Woodstock. Yeah, my I know exactly where Woodstock, Georgia is. So
Oh, well, nice to have the stragglers joining here.
yep, everybody's jumping on.
Joel
Herman's
and
on. Freedom
Herman.
762's
Herman,
on.
I was gonna text you today, and then I lost my train of thought. And then when I regained my train of thought, all I wanted to ask you was were you still in town? So if you're still in town, sound off in chat.
I was going to ask about
So-
that too. Is Herman heading back?
I don't know. I mean, now I think it would make sense for Herman to head back to the UK. I mean, the UK is like the land of the free right now. Okay,
Really?
who would have thought? Oh, they canceled everything.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. They just dropped
They-
all in.
they're
Finally,
doing
like
nothing.
we
You
just
know,
gave up.
I've been talking to some of our friends over there in the UK, and they're not particularly happy as to how or why they're getting their COVID restrictions lifted. And I get it. I get. Oh, he's in. Next in Wanchai. Interesting. You're still in town. But anyways, I understand. Maybe it's not the best situation to be in, where your prime minister went out and did some stuff, and now you guys are free.
Yeah, it's not
I would
exactly
just say-
the.
Guys, just take the win.
Yeah, take
Just-
the dubs.
just
take
take the dub.
and
Just take the dub, bro. Trust me.
Yeah, can't
it's not
leave no
ideal.
flights with spaces. Isn't that the truth?
Well, oh no, actually, I think it's worse, Herman. I think like Hong Kong has disallowed flights in and out of Hong Kong to the UK.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So there's like 9 countries or so that Hong Kong has outright banned travel in and out of. So that is US, Canada, UK, I think India, Pakistan, Korea, and I think a few, some South Africa, and some other island nations.
Gotcha.
But yeah, so you're kind of stuck here, Herman. Sorry, bro.
Damn. Or he could transfer through here.
Not true.
Because United's got a lot of flight. Well, I don't know if you go in
Yeah.
UK. I don't want to get UK out of here though, because it's kind of going the wrong direction. You'd have to connect somewhere else. So he would probably have to go. He'd probably go. To be honest, you could probably catch a flight to UAE.
Right.
and
Oh
then
yeah.
rebook in UAE. So you can do it Emirates out, I'm sure, and then rebook out from there.
You
He said
know,
here for a long time with a lot of O's.
Herman, Herman, you see, I'm reading your thing. Flights from UK coming in as cargo. So CX has 3 months in March going direct. Guess who's flying those cargo flights? You don't want to be flying. You don't want to be getting on those. Okay. His name is Nick.
Nick's on those because
Nick's doing most of the freight flights
oh really? 'Cause the
out
freight,
of
I'm
Hong
telling you right
Kong.
now, the freight flights are making more money than the passenger flights
Well,
by
here's the thing, right? So
far.
like, he's poor guy. Again, doesn't know where he is. He's probably here. Maybe he's not. I have no clue. But poor Captain Nick. He's doing his thing, and but yeah, he flies some of the. I think he last time he told me some of the flights like they had to pull him like last minute to do some of the cargo flights. And so if you guys follow my Instagram, my Facebook page, unironically, I was texting Nick with the Air India meme where Air India was flying directly over Ukraine, and they had a flight flying directly at Ukraine, and then I circled the plane and I sent it to Nick. I was like, "Damn it, Nick, this is you, isn't it?" And
Fudge.
he says, "Yes, that's me. I fly part time for Air India."
Oh my gosh, what are these guys? They're like, yo, this is our it's our flight path. We're sticking to it. Like
This is it for me, bro.
the pilot's just sitting back, jamming to his tunes. He's got his Bollywood, favorite Bollywood
Yeah.
jams going. He's just
Yeah.
like, yeah, whatever. Oh, what's going on down there?
He's like, "Oh man, that looks serious." Ugh.
Yeah. Speaking of serious, that is serious,
Yeah.
man.
What a transition.
Yeah, what a transition. If we're gonna get a little negative, I mean, we can't like have a show because we're like the Walmart version of Joe Rogan.
I like that. And someday we'll be Target, and then from
Yeah,
Target we'll become Target.
Well, Costco, I think, is maybe the next step up.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like Sam's Wholesale? I don't know.
Well, we'll have to gain some pounds to be like,
Yeah.
any kind of wholesale.
Our show has to get longer. It's like, oh, wait, you want the show? It's 12 hours long.
Yeah.
It's the
Oh,
Costco
God.
version.
Jesus.
The Costco.
Let's just go from Walmart to Target, and
Yeah,
then
yeah,
we'll move from Target to Target.
Let's
we'll
move
just
it
we'll
to-
just we'll just
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah, maybe.
So for those of you guys who are listening in chat, like Americans, you guys know, but like people who don't, like the joke goes, poor people go to Target, rich people go to Target. So there you go.
Yeah. Because it's Target and it's the French. Anyway, yeah.
Yeah, it's the same place.
Yeah. So, yeah, with this mess, I don't know what the hell's going on with the world right now. Like, really. And I think all of us are watching. If you guys, by the way, if you're not following, if you're okay with sensitive content,
Yeah.
I would highly recommend you guys follow some IG accounts called OAF Nation _actual or OAF Nation. There's a
account.
bunch of other ones. I just followed one the other, like today, and the guy actually sent me a DM. Like he's got like 100,000 followers. He's like, "Hey man, thanks for following me." I was like, "Oh wow, okay." There's also calling Our Wars, Today is in one, and we're probably gonna get banned. War Diary Ukraine is a really good one. All spelled together is one word. War Diary Ukraine is a fantastic one. I just started following. These guys are putting a lot of fantastic content out from the ground. They're aggregating all these videos, and basically they're like a day or two ahead of like all the like AP and everybody else.
Yeah.
So if you really want to kind of get a vibe of what's going on, like with this nightmare, and obviously it's you get to see it's some rough stuff. Like if you're not cool with seeing like this is not Call of Duty, man.
No, man.
This is there's going to be some. These are sensitive graphic. I mean, there's some rough stuff on here, but you can see how well, like without the mainstream media BS, you just get the raw, real.
Yeah.
There's no commentaries, no nothing. It's just like here it is. So
Yeah.
you kind of get to see what's going on. All these are worth a follow. So just check them out if you feel or you are okay with this
Yeah.
type
Yeah.
of content.
Yeah.
Like I said, there's no political skew to it. Well, the only political skew to it is they are definitely pro-Ukraine, which is cool because
Yeah.
I don't know anybody I've talked to, even people I know that publicly won't say it, that are Russian, that are for what's going on with this. And then I know you've been following the news, I'm sure. Like you've seen like he's talking like the NUCLEAR word.
Yeah, I know.
Like what world like did I just wake up to my child? Speaking of living in Atlanta when I was a kid, did I just wake up and it's the 1980s again?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, I
really,
know.
what is going on with this place?
I mean, even I think China had to step in and say, "Look, man, like y'all got to talk it out.
Yeah, oh
Like
no,
this is a bit much." Yeah.
China literally at first China was like, we stand by Russia. We're
Oh,
okay.
there's our allies. You
They're
know.
ally. And then
Yeah.
like 2 days later, China's like, hey, we're not with him.
Yeah. Y'all got to talk it out.
yeah,
Yo, whatever
y'all-
you do, y'all got to talk it
Yeah,
out.
you guys need to like just go into a room and hug this thing out because
Yeah.
we're gonna be over here. By the way,
Yeah.
that's not our friend. They're not our friend. We're not with
Yeah.
them.
Yeah. You
They're picking-
disassociate.
They're picking up their own check. They're
Yeah.
splitting the check. I got my own check. They're getting their own check. Yeah, China's actually done that. Like China's
Yeah.
like, not us. Like
Oh, yeah.
they in
Yeah,
2 or 3
they,
days, man, it was a
They
180 degree
turn.
turn.
Yeah. They turn pretty quick on that one. Usually, usually for the most part, the news coverage here of overseas conflicts has been pretty good, up until the last couple of years. So I've just not really made a point to follow it, and so I still follow like the OG Funker Tactical.
Mm-hmm. Bunker's good.
Funker's good. Yeah. Some of his stuff can be a little too rah, but
Yeah.
Funker's okay.
And it's funny,
for the most
Razvan
part.
said too, he goes 9gag. I'll be honest with you, it's pretty wild. Sites like 9gag and Reddit, normally I'd be like, don't get your news there. I mean, like these 9gag and Reddit. Now, again, there's a little bit of disinformation thrown in. People are grabbing old photos.
Oh my
and
God, yeah.
They're mixing
Jesus.
audio from one situation with the video clip from another. So take everything with a grain of salt. That's why I kind of like some of these I'm following because these guys are in the region. So you kind of get it raw. And if they do mess up, they'll tell you immediately. It's like, oh, we screwed up. That was this region, not this region.
Yep.
Or if they get their dates wrong. But like some of those, you got to be careful. But it's pretty surprising. I'm with you. Like 9gag and Reddit, I mean, they're getting stuff quicker, faster, and better.
Just stay out of like the meme pages for Reddit, man. Like there's so much disinformation, like not just misinformation, it's disinformation out there, like on both sides of the spectrum too.
all
Like
across the
just
board.
it's just unbearable. I made a point not to look at Reddit for the last few days, which I think is proving very healthy for my psyche.
Man, I don't dive into the Reddit soup personally. I mean, I kind of
Reddit is great, but I never use it as a news platform.
No.
Ever.
But it's interesting to see what the world's doing. The name of the channel, I'll give you some really quick. Let me, I'll just open up my IG here. War Diary Ukraine. So this is on IG. Yep. I'll just put it in chat.
Type it out, bro.
This is a good one. So these are War Diary Ukraine. I'm literally watching them right now. I'm not going to put them up because I don't want to get... War Diary Ukraine is probably one of the best ones I've following. The other one I'm following, because I like to see different variations of the same commentary, because you can kind of get... Sometimes you'll get... another one is called Our... This. That's another one. And then there's a third one I had on here too. And if you guys are not following this, and if you're not following this for actually global military political news, like global military and like kind of geopolitical just information, not commentary. This one, the third one, I just put OF Nation _actual is pretty good. They do a headlines thing every day. Like even my sis is following this now. And she's like, wow, this is actually like, I don't know these things. Like she's learning, like, because the U.S. media, all the countries' media show kind of whatever they feel like they can sell ads against, right?
Well, it's algorithmically driven, right?
Yeah.
I mean, which is so sad. Like opinion and news nowadays is so algorithmically driven. It's whatever brings in the most clicks, and so you get these headlines that are just so mashed together. This group hates this group because this group feels marginalized by this group, all due with a wrapper of racism.
Yeah.
And then they mash these keywords together, and then voila, you get clicks, and then that's how they make all their money.
And what's cool about the OAF Nation guys is they're all like military dudes. They're all like, I think pretty much all of them are like, some kind of special operations, kind of guys, or somewhere in the SF
I've actually
community.
seen these guys come up like on my suggested posts once in a while too. I read their stuff sometimes.
It's funny, but their stuff is like, I will tell you right now, it's the like if you want something like you think, oh, these guys is going to skew hard right.
Yeah.
No, it sits smack dab in the middle. Like you should see they're like their comment section. Their people will rage on. Sometimes they'll offend the right because they're just
Oh, yeah.
dropping the news. They're sitting in that middle bar and just dropping it down the middle. And these guys will get mad, and then you'll have some random people from this side get mad. So it's pretty interesting to see. I mean, they kind of give a very different opinion, and I think this is what's important. If I want to kind of get on a little like quick rant, it's not about. And by the way, Ho Chang, welcome to the chat. Welcome, Razvan, for those. It's so important in life to listen to every side.
Yes.
You know, there's a reason I actually like Jonathan. Do you check out Fox News? Yeah. Do I check out CNN? Yeah. Do I check out OAF Nation? Yeah. Well, why do you? Well, if you watch Fox News, why do you do CNN? Or if you do CNN, why do you watch Fox? Because I want to
should
see
watch both.
every side.
Yeah.
I want to see all of this and form my own opinion. And I think that's what we're missing a lot in society. Now, I'm sure most of you guys in chat are on the same frame, the same page, the same wavelength. But I think so many people are just like, I'm going to be over here in my box, living in my world, or I'm going to be over here in this box, living in this world. And I think you got to see everything and then form your own opinion. And that's, I think, what's so important to me, to look at every side. Like, I will literally have the most pretty left-leaning, some right-leaning, some middle ground news, and just figure it out myself and see what I can dig into. And then, I think that's really what's important. And I think a lot of people out there in the world, and I like I said, I would dare say our chat is probably an exception to a lot of people in the world rule. Just they grab their little box and they stay in their box.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And to make my life easier, that's why I listen to Tim Pool.
Yeah.
Just find the milquetoast fence sitter. Just
Yeah.
there you go.
Right in the middle.
Right in the middle.
Yeah.
Consistently center. Tim Pool. Big shout out. Timcast IRL, man.
So
God, I love that
I've had
show.
a lot of people, man, like in the past couple of days, even my sis, some other people have called me and they're like, hey man, are you I called my sis, actually I called her last night, and it was her Sunday. So she's like, at church or whatever. And then I'm like, I call her up. No joke. This is literally like how she answers the phone. She's like, don't tell me you're being invaded. I mean, literally, that's how she answers the phone. I'm like, what are you talking about?
I mean,
like, what do you mean? Don't tell me you're being. What do you? She's like, well, they're putting on the news about these flyovers in Taiwan. I'm like, you mean the ones they've been doing every day for the past 2 years? Oh, really? I'm like, yeah. So they're just reporting on that news there, but honest to God, it happens every single day for the past 2 years. She's like, oh, so I don't need to be freaking out. I'm like, no, you don't need to be freaking out. Like, don't worry about that.
I think for the fact that China did a 180 on this whole situation in the Ukraine, I think it's a positive sign. It's a good thing.
It's, to me, it's a good
Not
thing.
today.
The world, okay, and I know, and this is like, I kind of like, I'm gonna, I guess, sit back and commentate. I'm gonna bro commentate.
Okay.
But
That's
what's
why
going
the
on?
hat backwards. I got it.
Yeah, hat backwards, bro commentate. I mean, like, do a little Madden and Madden commentary here. I tell you, there's so many people like, why are these people doing this? Why are they doing this? Why aren't they going in? And everybody's looking at the U.S. like, hey, why aren't you jumping into this? And I get it. I totally get it. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm the first guy to tell you, and I will give you, like, regardless of my political affiliation, the guy we have in charge right now has Alzheimer's. Let's just go ahead and put that out there. Like, in my mind,
man, you're so kind.
From having it run in my family, my grandmother, I just lost, like, my grandmother, extreme Alzheimer's, like, and so for the past couple, like, just extreme. Yeah. So I kind of plugged into what's going on. I'm not being political about that, but so we got a guy who's kind of clueless.
Yeah.
But what's going on with all this mess? It's just unbelievable. And people are wondering, like, well, why isn't the U.S. jumping in? I hear this a lot. I have to answer the question for my country. I don't know, Mark, you may get this too.
Yeah.
Why isn't the U.S. jumping in and policing this like they have in the past? Like, because if they did, it would be World War III. for real.
Yeah. Hmm.
Like we can't like as much as I'm telling you, I'm sure there are 1,000 people in the Pentagon right now that have plans drawn up that are ready to rock and roll. Like
Yeah.
they're like, "Hey boss, give us the green light. We got this. Like we will go to like in 2 seconds."
Yeah.
Right? So it's absolutely ready to rock. But I think that would really pop up. I think that's what
Oh, it would pop off. Like, dude,
it would be
let's
unbelievable.
not forget, it's Russia, okay? It's not. It's near peer, okay? It's not. I hate to say it. It's not the Middle East. This is not some warlord out there that decided to do a terrorism.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's got
this is
a couple
Russia.
thousand followers that have some mixed stuff left over
Yeah.
from the '90s surplus, right? I mean,
This is not something we can drone them, okay?
Yeah, no. By the way, there's more than just guns. There's satellites. There's electronic warfare, hackers.
Yeah.
I mean, there's like so much that it's part of this whole thing. So,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is just me. I'm bro commentating, right? So don't look at me for like the word here. It's just
Yeah,
me
just like
observing.
financial advice, we're not giving any financial.
Yeah, we're not
advice.
giving any financial advice. Yeah, this is so everybody's wondering why the U.S. isn't stepping in. It's damn good they're not. It's damn good NATO's not. Like NATO has to be like trust me when I say this. Everyone wants to, but they know what will happen if they do. So right now
Yeah.
they're walking the razor's edge of what they can do. Hey, we're going to ship you as many rocket launchers as we can get you. We're going to do all these things.
We're gonna ship it right to the Polish border.
Yeah, right. And we're gonna ship, and we're gonna put our troops on the Polish border. We're gonna put our troops on like any NATO country border. We're gonna bolster those up, and they're gonna send planes. They just can't send pilots, right?
Yeah.
They're gonna send guns. They just can't send soldiers. They're gonna send body armor. They're not gonna send troops, right?
That's right.
They're gonna do what they can, because we have as absolute crappy of a situation this is. We got to. I mean, they have to contain it. They have to understand. Like they know. It's
Yeah.
gonna, especially when the other guys using the N word, and I'm not talking the racist N word. I'm talking the end of the world N word.
Yeah.
Right. So
The baboom and word.
yeah. So it's a tough one, and I do understand being an American what it means. Like there's a responsibility, but I mean, like I think we've sent like everybody's sent billions of dollars, and like I'm pretty much sure that at this point every Ukrainian soldier has like a javelin or an MLAW.
Probably.
And that's
Or-
why
or
you
a
see
couple.
if you're watching these, by the way, those links I sent you there in chat, you will see countless videos of just burnt up armor.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure that's from the javelins and the MLAWs. Like for those who don't know what they're talking about, we're talking about anti-tank weapons.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
yeah. So I don't want to get into military stuff, but this is some nasty stuff. And
This is yeah.
at the end of the day, this is something that can't like taking a step back, looking at it from 30,000 feet or 20,000 meters or whatever you want to call it, or 10,000 meters. This is something that nobody's lived through. We're not. None of us has seen this in our
Yeah.
lifetime.
Not
Our-
like this. Yeah.
Our parents for sure haven't. It's been our grandparents' generations, the closest, most likely. Maybe even past that have seen something like this. And to be honest, like the last time a generation saw a pandemic and then a ground war in Europe was post World War One, pre World War Two. So we're talking
Yeah.
like the 20s and the 30s. Like the coming out of the Spanish flu and going into what the build up into World War II. So this is new ground, and anytime anything can just happen. So it's kind of scary. I hope we all stay cool and realize
Yeah.
at the end of the day, it's not the people of the country, it's this leader.
Yeah,
you know?
it's this guy who came out and said that they want to restore the glory of the former empire, and he felt like that was like a slight against him. That he felt like it was the biggest, political failure of his lifetime. Doesn't that sound like somebody else in history? Right? Kind of scary how history repeats itself.
Always does.
Always does. And you may have to deal with a lot of questions as to why hasn't America done XYZ. I get to deal with the opposite side. I get to deal with people now fling mud, and the same people who were waving flags in 2019 and saying save us, save us, save us, we love your country, singing the anthem down the street while they're protesting, those are the same people out here saying that, oh, America's so trash, y'all talk just like you're garbage people, Ukraine is suffering and you just stand by, America's always garbage, you guys are only cool in your movies. I'm like, gee, thanks. Let's just remember that when you decide you need to call on somebody's help again.
Yeah.
Right. And I think also another contributing factor as to why maybe the U.S. or sentiment of war in the U.S. hasn't been as high as years past is I just don't think that there's much more capacity or an appetite to go fight.
Well, too many people come home, man. Like,
yeah,
I have literal friends that have come home with unbelievable baggage, like legit PTSD to the point. I'm telling you, I'm not like, oh, PTSD. No, like some of these guys have shared stories with me, and I never served. That was my choice. I didn't. I had the option. I chose not to go that route with my life. And they come back with stories, and it's just like, I remember this one guy I know. He was a ranger, and then he worked with the 160th SOAR out of Fort Campbell, which basically is the helicopter group that does a lot of the SF. They bring the special forces guys in and out of combat zones. And the stories he told me, I'm like, and just he goes, yeah, I'm broken, man. He goes, it took me I remember this guy. He's like, it took me almost 2 years when I came back from the war to be able to not drive down the road and be constantly scanning for IEDs. He goes, I'm just like literally like looking on the sides of the road. I'm not even paying attention to the road. I'm looking just because that was my life, right? And we were driving there. We had to watch for all these things, and just to be absolutely paranoid. He helped a lot of people with PTSD too. Great guy, fantastic guy. I won't say his name because I don't want to give away anybody who's been in. He was in my airsoft team. This was years and years ago. This is but these are guys like and he told me some stories so casually, and I'm like, you what?
How are you still alive?
Yeah, it's just crazy. Yeah. And like, so these people are coming back with unbelievable scars. I mean, I'm sure pretty much anybody in the state knows these kind of people. And like, if not mental scars, absolute physical scars too.
Yep.
So I don't think the appetite for war, I mean, it's like needless war, and I don't want to get in the commentary of needless war of Afghanistan or Iraq or any of that mess. But
yeah, I mean, I don't want to get into that too.
When you look at what's happening in Ukraine though,
yeah. Oh, it's very different. I know it's very different. And I feel, I think this is something also very kind of, you and I can probably kind of speak to this too, and probably Bumpkin or some of the other Americans in chat. I always feel like we do have a compassion about these things. Like I always feel people back home, no matter how tired they are about this, if the cause it be just, then, they'll want to go and support it. That is saying with the debacle that happened in Afghanistan not several months ago, and I just really hope cooler heads prevail and people can kind of think it through. I mean, you don't want some of these big superpowers going at it. I don't think anybody want to see tanks rolling through Europe again.
Yeah.
I see all the memes out there with like, Germany getting that congratulations slip. Finally, I had no part to play in World War III,
Yeah. I mean, it's, when you look at the history books, if for those of you that follow history, you really can, like, it's unbelievable how easy it is for a global war to kick off.
Yep.
Like an archduke gets assassinated and it snowballs into a world war. I mean, essentially that's how, like, those kind of things.
Yeah. And think how much more interconnected every country is nowadays compared to even back in the 40s,
But then you look at this, let's take a step back. Like all of us, I'd say a lot of people here. Yeah. A lot of people here are in, like, I think most of you guys, a lot of you guys know, that our day jobs, right? Like you're probably, I'd say the lion's share of the people in video watching live, at least now, those you watch afterwards, maybe not, know what we do for a day job. We're in the airsoft industry, toy guns. It's I would say a contact sport that uses simulated guns to shoot little plastic projectiles at eeach other, and it's kind of like, I hate to say it's like paintball. It's actually pretty much taken over paintball at this point. It's bigger than paintball.
Oh yeah.
Where you run around, you simulate like combat activities, right? So we kind of dabble in, we're live action role players, just toy guns to shoot plastic.
Oh yeah, we LARPing 100%.
We're LARPing, baby.
We 100%. We LARPing, baby.
But from our standpoint, I mean, we're looking at the global world. I mean, like, even from a business perspective, like, think about all the hobbies, all the things, how interconnected we are now.
Yeah.
Like, you know, Mark's in marketing in this industry. I was in marketing. I'm still kind of am, and I'm now in distribution. Like, it's like everything that happens, it affects our bottom lines. I mean, it affects me. Like, I look at like, oh, what's my next shipment going to be? I'm like, oh, it costs that much. You know, it's like,
And
oh,
let
great.
me let me get this out there too. Contrary to popular belief, war is not good for business.
Well, war is good for business for a very select,
Yeah,
few,
not for us. I'm talking about, like, you know,
rich
yeah.
government contractors.
Yeah,
Period.
I mean, it in context of what you were saying, like our day jobs.
Yeah.
You know, war is not good for business for us. Some people think that, oh, war is great because now you get all this new stuff that comes out and you get to get replicas of all of it. To be honest, at what price, right? At what cost that you have to go through this just to get a couple of new gimmicks and some new toys? To be honest, we were getting churned out new toys in what we do for our day job without the needless conflict.
Yeah.
So, you know, contrary to popular belief, no, it is not good for business. It is not something that we should be glorifying and say, oh, thanks to these two warring factions, we can benefit off of this because more toys would come from these two things. I think it's a terrible thing to try to capitalize on, or even to insinuate that there should be a capitalization on it. So, you know, I just want to come out and say, at least for me,
No, I'm
it's
totally
not
cool
good.
with
It's
that.
no good, man.
Yeah. And like Razvan said like this, and this is Razvan. It's interesting you said this because this is something I was actually. You want to talk about hashtag shower thoughts? I was getting ready for the show, right? Kind of look presentable, and this like prior to that was going through my brain. I'm like, and by the way, I read his chat. What he wrote says, by the way, with LARPing, meaning what we do, we go out and play these simulated battles. Russian impersonators are already being attacked on playing fields. Most of us have had to give up on our Russian kits. Herman says some UK sites are already banning Russian forces kits. Already saw groups on different, and then Ratsman says, already saw guys on different Facebook groups getting happy because there will be a lot of surplus gear.
Yeah, what the hell, man?
But and this is what I was thinking.
Ugh.
I'm like, there's a group, and I know the guys that run it. They're great people. Josh and the rest of the crew at Milsim West.
Oh yeah.
They do a military simulation event where these huge groups of people get together. They pay. They go to these amazing facilities and places and fields, and they do simulated battles where you have like a 3-day event, 2, 3. Some of these are longer, that are nonstop overnight, and you stay in the like you try to take territory. It's basically a huge combat simulation, right? It's not scripted. I mean, it's kind of like the little bit scripted, but not much. And then the rest is like you try to win. You know, you try to take it over. And
That's legit LARPing.
Yeah, it's
like
legit
they
LARPing.
legit out there LARPing.
And they're out there. They get shot. They pretend. But
Yeah.
the thing is, it's very much focused around Russian kit and Russian, like the whole thing's Russian. So usually it's very much core is Russian. Milsim West is always core of Russian stuff. And they've done stuff with Rostov and Crimea. They've covered those kind of things, which were conflicts prior to this. But now I'm very curious about their business model because I think it's incredibly unfortunate because Josh and the rest of the crew, Josh and Brian and all those guys there, they're freaking tastic people. And they put on by far the most realistic, I mean, arguably best hardcore milsim in Airsoft. Really. And they've got a loyal community of people that go to these events. But for them to be able to put on these things with this Russian kit and people like when you play, you like pick a unit and you go get the gear. I mean, I'll tell you guys, I'm part of one of these groups, and now I'm like, and I haven't played with them for years. I'm out in Taiwan, and but I'm still like kind of in there. I've always helped out with like marketing and like patches and designs, things like that. But I'm like, what's going to happen with this? Like, I haven't even talked to the guys in the group about this, and
I mean,
because
I think.
it's not
Go ahead, John.
kosher at this point. It's really like it's bad freaking taste, and there's no way I would throw on my. There's no freaking way in a million years I'd throw on Russian kit
Yeah.
at
Yeah.
this point.
I think I think it's important to remember the people are different than the person calling the shots. So don't take it out on don't take the frustration that you may have, the negative feelings that you may have on people in our hobby. Look, they like the impression, they like the style. That doesn't mean that they agree with the guy's ideology or thinking, like what Razvan is saying. I think the proper thing to do is maybe right now it's a little uncouth. I think out of respect, maybe now's not the time. But
Yeah.
I don't think that you should ban people.
And don't be angry at the player.
Yeah.
I mean, like these
Don't be
guys. I
angry
mean,
at
don't
the
get me wrong.
players.
They've spent
Yeah.
like to import this gear, to bring it all in, to find. I mean, like these guys like literally look and like. I mean, I've got. It's not even here. It's back in the States. I got a boatload of kit, and it's like legit kit. It's not like, oh, it's a copy. It's effectively no. I got like all the legit stuff, and I haven't, like I said, I haven't gone to like done any kind of Russian kit in probably 5 years, but I still get the kit, right? I still got all the stuff, and like they are very into getting the kit perfect for the unit. So it concerns me that like I feel bad for these guys because it's not their fault.
Yeah, it's not their fault. So remember, just don't point your ire at these people.
Yeah.
It's not their fault, right? It's just bring it a little bit down to earth, right? There are some people out there. I had a conversation with a friend of mine. We were having some hookah the other day, some shisha, and we were just discussing this, right? He got harassed because he went to New York, and he was wearing a face mask, and some people said, "Hey, don't you support freedom? Why do you do that? I think that's so stupid." Yeah, okay. They're probably not entirely serious, but his rationale was, look, I just want to be considerate of other people, right? I'm gonna keep my germs to myself, and I would be considerate to other people. And I think that's something that we can look at in this situation. It's not the Russian people's fault. I mean, I think for us to go and point our fingers at Russian people, I'm not telling you to go out and buy Russian vodka in stock, okay, in bulk. Though now would be the time.
Hey man, Russians make good vodka. Not gonna lie. I don't know. Like, if you want me to make me decide between Russian and Polish vodka, it'd be a tough coin toss.
To be honest, I have some fantastic friends that I know, dear to my heart, that are Russian.
Yeah.
I like these people are the salt of the earth, and I would say, don't point your fingers at these poor people, these innocent people in Russia. It's not their fault, right? And I think that's something that maybe we got to keep in check, no matter what we do. Is it's not their fault. They're the Russian people. Of course, there's going to be crazy people all over the place, but the Russian people are not the ones that are like, rah rah, let's go and dominate this country and then go invade them. It's someone else doing some.
I'll tell you, if you look
some
at
things.
Like, some of these links I showed you, like there's captured soldiers they're showing. The soldiers don't even want to be there. You can tell. Like, you look at them, like I don't know. Like, why are you here? Like my commander told me to come here.
Yeah.
Like they're running out of gas. They have no food.
Man.
You can see it.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. Like
any opportunity they get to surrender, you see it in their face. You see like these pictures, and then they get them in the face, and then they just, man, okay, we're surrounded. We're done. We're done.
Yeah.
I'm not fighting.
Or better yet, you watch some of these. There's literally like you'll see like there's a couple of videos if you go through what some links. Like a guy will drive a car up to an armor column. Yeah. And like there's one video, I remember this very specifically. I'm sure if you scroll through some of those I showed you, you will find this one. And it's a POV, so the guy's car cam. And so he drives up, and you can hear him speak in Russian to, like, there's just tanks. They're just out of gas. That's like a few days ago, right? And they were coming into somewhere in eastern in Ukraine. And he's like, hey, you guys broke down? You out of gas? And he's like, you can hear the soldiers off camera because it's like the car pulls up to the tank. The tank's just sitting there on the side of the road, just out of gas. He's like, you broke down? He's like, yeah, we're broke down. He's like, oh, hey, do you want me to get you a tow? And they laugh. The soldiers laugh. Like, I can take you back to Russia if you need me to. And they all laugh about it. And he's like, all right. And he just drives on. I mean, that's the kind of interaction of like, you can tell this isn't a malicious invading force. When like, a local pulls up and is like, "Hey, how's it going?" You know, like, and drives on. Like, and if you look at some of these other cities, that's why I love the news I'm seeing, like these actual videos. Like the mayor of some of these towns are like, "Hey, if you find the troops, try to negotiate with them. You'll be surprised. A lot of these troops just give up. They're like, okay." Like I've seen like civilians just like line the road in some of these videos. And they're like, "Hey, go away, go back." And the tanks are like, "Okay,
all right,"
and they just turn around. And these guys are like turning like T-82s and T-72s or T-80s, T-72s, like BPMs, all these like all the heavy armor. There's like, all right, we'll just go back the other way. Fine.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, they're people too, right? They are people as well, and there's some crazy people out there. There's some bad people out there, that's for sure. But
there's one video of a guy. You want to talk crazy people? Crazy in a good way.
But okay.
The guy. No, there's a Ukrainian guy carrying an anti-tank mine off the road. He just picks it up.
Oh yeah, he's having a cigarette in his mouth.
Just
yeah, I know.
Strutting. I'm like,
throws it away.
I'm like,
wow,
bro.
Did you hear
but the guys
tank in the background? Those are his balls.
Oh yeah, and like everybody in chats, like they're asking about these videos, these people taking their farm tractors.
Yeah.
Because if you don't realize, the Ukraine's like what, little under 40 million people. It's a massive country. Taiwan's 23, and it's like a fraction, like just a tiny percent of Ukraine. Ukraine's like a lot of farmland.
Oh yeah, huge.
Breadbasket, lots of grain, lots of bread, it's a lot of farmers, right? Except for the major cities, huge farmlands. It's kind of like the Midwest when you get to the U.S.
The breadbasket of Europe.
Right, they really are. And you look at some of these these farmers, and they're towing away tanks. They're like just pull their huge farm tractor. And if you've ever played Arma, by the way, if you've ever played Arma, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Like some of the maps, they have the freaking tractors, and I'm watching. The first time I saw that, I was like,
it's true.
This is true.
It's real.
I thought it was just what? Like I've literally towed away armor with the tractor. Because like in Arma, if you played Arma 3 or 2 or whatever,
right?
You can actually get tractors, like because you can drop like some maps have them, so you can put them on there if you do map design, and you can actually run tow ropes off the back of them and hook things up, and they have the torque to pull armor away.
Yeah,
and you're like, I'm like, it's just fun, and we do it in game fun, and then I see it in real life, like, this is nuts.
Oh my god, it's for real.
It's for real. So, yeah, Private Bumpkin, Razvan, both talking about the tractors and stuff. But yeah, it's Texas size, Ukrainian size. Yeah, I'd say I think Texas is about the same size. I don't know. Hang on. I will ask my genius in this box right here behind me. Hey Google, how many square miles are in Ukraine? 603,538 square kilometers. Hey Google, what's the surface area in square miles or kilometers of Texas?
The surface area of Texas is 695,662 square kilometers.
Ooh, Texas.
Almost the same.
Yeah.
Almost the same. Yeah. So they're actually, it's right. Herman, man, you know it, right? Bro, you got it. So yeah, literally it's Texas. And to give you an idea, like Taiwan's like half the size of Florida.
Yeah. Dude, Herman, I'm surprised. You're pretty quick. You're out there sitting in Wanchai, bro.
Yeah.
Eesh, yikes.
Well, I will tell you this, like for those of you like Razvan, all that, I know you're sitting in Romania, man. You guys, I'm going to ask, I'm sorry, I'm like my geopolitical. Is Romania part of NATO? Yeah, you joined in 2004. Okay, yeah, bro, you ain't getting invaded.
Yeah, I think you're gonna be okay.
You can be fine. Like if they roll into you, they're rolling into 34, whatever their countries. It's global war at that point.
I mean,
same with Poland, same with everybody else.
Poland, my goodness, Poland is just chomping at the bit. Poland.
We know people in Poland.
Yeah,
like
Poland.
We both.
Poland. There's like, oh, please get closer. Make it easier for us. Get closer. Poland's nuts. Okay.
Yeah. From first off, Poland's helping a lot with what's going on. Like the people I see, like their hearts, their wallets, everything's open. Second off, I think Poland's like, Not again. Never again. It's very much.
Poland's got some scores to settle.
Yeah.
You know,
There's some 60, 70-year-old scores that need to be settled here.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, so Poland's like, anything I can do, I'll do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I think
So-
y'all are gonna be okay.
You'll be fine. I mean, I'm not downplaying it, but at this point, I think Putin made his move prior to letting Ukraine into NATO.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people, somebody, I forget who was watching, somebody said it's like basically like seeing your ex-girlfriend with, I think it was that last week we even talked about this, seeing your ex-girlfriend with someone else.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like he's like, no, you can't date her.
Yeah.
So Sweden sent a bunch of support. Switzerland, I saw today, and I on a tweet.
Swiss? They're not neutral anymore?
No.
What?
No. Swiss picked the side, bro.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Man. Mr. Putin, I think now's the time to stop.
Yeah.
If the Swiss have picked a side, I think now's
Well,
the time. Now's the time you stop.
What I feel bad about this whole thing, how it's going to play out. I think hopefully things de-escalate, but the problem is the sanctions. I feel bad for everybody in Russia
Yeah, I do too. I absolutely do too.
because they're going to pay the
do-
price of what their leader did, and
I do hope that whatever democratic process that they have, that they would be able to go do something.
you know Putin. Let me Google it. It was in the 90%. I don't think it was democratic.
You know?
Let's see. Let's see. Turnout was 67.5% for the Russian presidential election. There were 109 million people registered. 67 point something percent turned out.
That's not
What did he
bad.
win? Oh, he won 77%.
Yikes. Look, man, let's just hope maybe he can get knocked down a peg to 60.
Yeah. Who wins 77%? So,
Oh,
by the way,
well,
did you see
you know.
Anonymous hack their state television?
Okay, so I have to agree. I have to side with Mr. Poole, Mr. Tim Poole on this one. I don't like it.
Don't like
You
what?
know, I don't like that Anonymous went and took down RT.
Really?
You know, I don't.
Explain.
So, look, both sides are throwing out propaganda. Let's just be
Oh
frank,
yeah.
right?
Everybody, you
both
always
sides doing it, right?
You
Both
always
sides doing it.
spin the way you want to spin.
But I feel like, you know, if we're silencing the voices of another side, you know, I don't think it's right that we're taking away their chance to tell their side of the story. Look, and I'm not saying they're being honest and high and mighty, and I'm not saying that they're telling any kind of truth. Just like I'm not saying the other side is telling any kind of, you know, specific truth. That's why we're talking about these on the ground organizations and independent news media.
Yeah.
That's actually really leading the way.
Showing
But-
videos, yeah, showing
Exactly.
I get my news. I love I like seeing the news, like
Yeah.
visually. Like there's no spin, no talk, just this is
Yeah.
what's happening.
Just look, if you're gonna commentate on it, point out the obvious. Okay.
Yeah.
Don't put your skew into it, right? Call a spade a spade. Like, just like, as much as I don't like some of the MSNBCs or some of the crazy CNN, I would not want them to be like not given an opportunity to have their platform. You know what I mean? So I don't particularly like the fact that they went and took him down, because what is that going to look like? Now he's got.
Well, no,
it-
they
it-
did.
it-
So the news media, like they took the major. From what I understand, again,
I think they took the website down.
what I saw was they said they hacked the news feed and presented the like started showing news from Ukraine, but I don't know.
I mean, I like what the Hub did. The Hub did us all proud. You know.
what what they do?
Oh, they anyone with a Russian IP trying to go on to the
Oh
Hub.
yeah, the hub, the P
The Hub.
asterisk
Okay,
hub.
yeah, the P asterisk hub, the Hub.
Yeah,
They-
P hub.
Yeah, they said they showed like a huge, you know, stand with Ukraine, and
They cut
you know,
off access
yeah.
to P hub.
No, you're not. Look, I can do that. Okay, I can do. I'm down with that. Okay, I'm okay with that. But when they took down their news website, so you can't even access the news on their end, to deny people, their voice, I don't think is right. People should have the opportunity to present their side of the story for whatever it counts, and it should be up to people to believe or not believe.
Yeah. Hold on, let me see. Metro, let me see this news here. It says Anonymous hacks Russian TV to show footage from Ukraine front lines. So the group is trying to broadcast the truth about what's happening in the conflict. Pro-Kremlin Russian television stations have been criticized for repeating Vladimir Putin's propaganda, blah, blah, blah. Social media networks have all been restricting the country during the conflict. So they're locking down social media networks. Like what I just linked to you all about IG. They can't see that. Printing images of the suffering in Ukraine, reaching people in Moscow and St. Petersburg. The clip claiming TV stations have been attacked by Anonymous was viewed nearly 10 million times in 24 hours. It showed stations apparently broadcasting footage that went viral earlier in the week of a young father saying goodbye to his wife and daughter as they fled the country. So they're showing some footage. They basically hacked the TV station and broadcast it. That's hardcore,
okay,
man.
That's hardcore. Like,
that's super hardcore.
My issue is taking away people's access. But if they're kind of rebroadcasting that to let other people see access to information,
like give some humanity,
then I'm down with that.
Yeah,
Then I'm
that's
down
what they're
with
doing.
it.
Yeah. So Anonymous, I'll be honest with you, Anonymous is like kind of like the most. I like if you guys play Dungeons and Dragons. I'm a geek. Anonymous is, I would say,
They're chaotic.
Chaotic neutral, or no, they'd be like lawful. They'd be like lawful neutral.
I think they're chaotic neutral.
Really?
Because like they jump either way, right?
But they tend to follow
Politically, they jump both ways.
But that's saying are they lawful?
Right.
I mean, they're chaotic.
So because like I think if they were on one end of the spectrum doing one thing that is lawful in their mind, I think that would be a little bit more, lawful neutral.
So yeah, I think they're okay. No, they say they are okay. If you actually go to the Dungeons Dragons fandom account, like literally, they would be chaotic good.
Mm-hmm.
They would be chaotic good. That's actually probably good, because chaotic neutral would be like they're saying is like they flip flop to whatever benefits themselves. So
Right.
they say that chaotic neutral would be Johnny Depp's character in the Pirates of the Caribbean, right?
Mm-hmm.
Chaotic evil's the Joker. Lawful evil would be like Darth Vader, right?
Right.
Lawful good's like freaking Superman, right?
Mm-hmm.
Neutral good would be Nathan Fillion's character from Firefly, but chaotic good would be the V from Vendetta guy.
Yeah.
So he's chaotic good in the name of good, but they'll like,
We just go
wild.
do stuff up.
Yeah. So I would say that. That's actually pretty good. Yeah, I would say so. They would be chaotic good. Is where they would fall in the D&D. How do we get into D&D alignments?
Dude, I think it perfectly encapsulates things.
Yeah.
D&D, they got some things going on for them. I think they really kind of help people think a little bit better. So I'm okay with that.
Right. Oh,
I'm
Anto
down with
asks. I'm gonna kind of jump on this one, Mark. You may.
Yeah, that's on you for this one.
You may not want to talk about this one. And for those of you who lived in H, comma K, or anywhere else, there, you might want to
Lol.
step out of this conversation. So Anto writes. Should Taiwan be concerned with the situation of how the world is viewing it, i.e., Russia, Ukraine, China, Taiwan? So I've been getting this question a lot. Why my sis even says, like, are you being invaded? I mean, for those of you who don't know, I'm sure you know by now, I live in Taiwan. I've been here for 4+ years now. So it's definitely home for me. And while I can't vote, I'm not a citizen, like only actually passport holding citizens can vote, obviously. I'm still an American citizen. I am here legally. So I've been here. I pay attention to politics. I think like 90-something% or 89 or 90% of the population here is very much not for any kind of unification with the mainland, because the word they use is reunification. But China, for those of you that don't know, Taiwan has never, in the entirety of existence, been a part of mainland China, the actual
Yep.
island of Taiwan. Now,
That is correct.
after the Civil War, post World War II, there's a huge communist party uprising, and they overthrew the government, and the rebellion left mainland China and came to Taiwan. So all the rebels left here. They were of the original party, and that's how Taiwan was started. Taiwan had their first democratic election in the 90s, mid 90s, but up until that point, they did not have democratic elections. Post World War II, Taiwan was up to World War II. Taiwan was occupied by Japan. Prior to Japan's occupation of Taiwan, it was Portuguese held, and through history, kind of shifted around. I think some European country had claim on here too, aside from
Was it
Portugal.
the Brits?
Wasn't never the Brits never had it. Portugal had claim.
Oh no!
Portugal
the
had
Brits
claim
never
to
got
it. And then somebody else had claim here too. I forget now. Anyway, regardless, Japan, Portugal have both claimed Taiwan and have occupied Taiwan and had Taiwan as a colony in the history. So, long story short, China's never had claim to the land, although a significant amount of people here did. The government here was started. The modern government as we have now in Taiwan was started from the base of the people that lost the Civil War in China and retreated to here. So give you some quick, rough, it's really rough edges history of the history of Taiwan. So you're asking, China has long since said this is part of their country. That's their stance. There's the one China policy. The U.S. had signed an agreement to that, as well as the EU, most every EU country and pretty much every country in the world signed this one China policy, meaning that all trade and everything in relation to any Chinese territory routes through mainland China, which is why Taiwan, except with the exception of like 3 or 4 countries or 5 countries in the world, is not recognized as an independent country. Although it has its own government, it's democratically elected. The president here is female. The
one China policy actually wasn't even devised from China, if my history serves me
you
right.
can go way back. To be honest, there was a point in time where Taiwan was actually legally called China.
Yeah, it was like Taiwan
And they
was
gave
the
up the
legal
name.
representative. Yeah,
Yes,
was
and
the
they gave up
legal
the name.
representative in the UN
It's
as the actual China.
Yeah, it's and things have shifted over the years, like over the time. So actually, Taiwan did, but after the Civil War, Taiwan retained the legal representation because that was the government they displaced, and
Right.
they gave up the name China. This could literally have been China, and that could have been a totally different country.
That could have been West Taiwan.
It could have been, yeah, it could have been something else, right? And yes, as Herman says, Chano, ROC, Republic of China. That's the official. If you guys don't know, like when you really get to ship something here, it's Taiwan, ROC, Republic of China, legally on some websites, not all. It depends. So, long story short, people ask what's going on here because China's always taken the stance of they are going to reclaim this territory as theirs. Now, again, they've never had this territory. The people, the government has developed from the split, but the land here, the people, they're not all from that split. There are many different cultures that make up Taiwan. There's the Hakka, there's the people that came over, the KMT that came over, which is the political party that lost the Civil War. There are generational, I think this is from like the 1950s, right? So generationally, there's only a few people around. There's people here that have been here since the Japanese occupation of Japan.
I still speak
They
Japanese.
speak Japanese. Actually, there's a lot of people in Taiwan that speak amazing Japanese.
Yeah.
And Taiwan actually has its own language. People speak Hakka. They'll speak Mandarin. Mandarin is the national language, but they'll speak Hakka, Mandarin. Some people speak Japanese. There's still some Japanese TV shows here, and some people speak Taiwanese. And the further you go south, the more you get of Taiwanese. I know, like 5.
Is it redneck? Is like, do they got the accent to it.
It's very hyper different than man. It's not even in the same category as Mandarin Chinese, but it's all I know is dirty words. So don't worry about. I only know. Basically, I can say the nasty
The
stuff.
essentials.
The essentials. I can say the nasty
The
stuff.
essentials.
In
The essentials.
So anyway, sorry for the geopolitical history of Taiwan. So setting the foundation of that, the U.S. has a very large non-embassy here. They spent $213 million building it a few years ago. That's not a small
Very large
investment.
non-embassy.
It's a very large non. Trust me, I had to go there to get some like documents notarized,
Yo,
things like that.
do you guys like have like hella conspiracy theories about like your not embassy in Taiwan?
not really. They moved. They were in
Dude, we
multiple
got
spaces.
hella conspiracy theories here about the Hong Kong embassy.
Oh really?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, man. We'll
I
get
mean,
into that
ours is
later.
on the side of a mountain, man. These guys, like, they moved. They were in the middle of the city. They moved way out, like over at Nehu area, which is northeast of Taipei. They had offices all over. They consolidated them all, built a big building. It's highly secured. I've had to go in there, bro. Whoa, it's worse than going through the airports by far. Like,
Well, I would
three-
certainly hope so.
three to four. I would say 4x to go into not even a consulate. It's a attaché. I don't know what the word they would use for it.
A
but-
foreign office,
foreign office. I don't know. Yeah,
not
Outpost.
even a consulate general.
Yeah. But to get to that point, the U.S. spends like Taiwan buys a lot of military equipment from here. I've seen F-16s and Blackhawks fly over. Right. That's what you see here. Yes, they're actually, it's funny. The only security I've ever seen there are local Taiwanese that are the security guards.
Also Marines.
And I'm sure there's Marines here. There's Marines here.
Taiwanese Marines.
Yeah. But so China's been pushing for. I mean, China was shooting like trading artillery with the Kinmen Islands. I think is the name of Kinmen. They were right off the coast of China. If you guys Google it, Taiwan has an island that is 5 kilometers from the coast of mainland China. And back in the 90s, they were shelling each other. They were literally like firing artillery at each other across this 5-kilometer stretch. Yeah, it's the AIT, by the way. Yeah, Herman's right. American Institute of Taipei. They were firing, or Taiwan. They were firing artillery across this. And there's still, that island's still Taiwan owned. And if you look at the map, you would never guess it's Taiwan. Because Taiwan is like 100 plus kilometers off the coast of China. And this island's like 5. It's literally like on the coast. China's been flying flights into the air identification zone for years here. And I don't know. Who knows what's going to happen? I mean, I think it's money. Like I always say, like Mark and I talk, Joey joke. It's always follow the money, right? Follow the money.
Yeah.
Here it's the IC chip industry more than anything. But yeah, do I think it's going to happen? I think after what's happened with Russia and China distancing themselves and seeing how the globe has absolutely turned on Putin and his policy, I think it's a lot less likely than it was last week.
Yeah, I think the turnaround is indicative of the fact that maybe, China sees that there is still some fight and some will left in the West that you don't want to mess with, and they're seeing it now with how large of a nation Russia is, and their military might has yet to overrun, in their eyes, this small country the size of Texas.
Yeah. Literally, like, if you look at the numbers, by the way, the links I sent you guys for the IG stuff, some of these are posting like actual real-time numbers. Ukraine's lost, from what I've seen, I can't tell you if this is confirmed, a little over 100 soldiers have been KIA, about 1,100 wounded.
Yeah.
But they're reporting like 4,700 Russian casualties, KIAs.
Yeah, they had the draft medical staff in for Russia on the Russia side. I remember the Ukrainians were also doing incursions into southern Russia. So look, man. Like, I think President Xi, as much as we would criticize him, I think give the man his props. He changed his tone. The Chinese government changed their tone.
Yeah.
And I think it's when they do good, I think it's important that we
praise.
We
Get
praise,
positive
and then
positive reinforcement.
we give them the props for making the right decisions.
Because I think
So to-
people get greedy at times. They're like, hey, maybe we can do this and not get
Yeah.
in trouble. And they see this happen over there and they're like, oh. Because like, here's the big thing. If you guys don't follow banking, I mean, this is something that hits close home to me. The biggest thing is now they're removing a lot of Russian banks from the SWIFT system, SWIFT, which is it's all
Yep.
capital. It's basically the wire transfer system.
Yep.
So as I do business between my American side and Taiwan, and I buy things and I purchase things, even here, I mean, there's some small items I do purchase from mainland as well. Everything happens through the SWIFT system.
Yep.
It all does. That's how global money's moved. It's this global system that lets you wire transfer money across country lines, and it lets you do currency conversions and all these things seamlessly.
Yeah.
And it's a fantastic system. Is why we're globalized. It really lets the world become one. And the fact that they're going to take a very significant number of major Russian banks out of that system as retaliation, and this is like 8 or 9 countries are part of the system. It's mainly EU plus the US. There's like 8 or 9,
Yeah.
7 or 8 countries in the EU plus the US are part of the SWIFT like advisory board. And they all voted unanimously to remove Russia from it. And they're actually looking at central bank sanctions as well, which, if you guys don't know, I've been following this. Russia has put a whole lot of cash back in their central bank. So unlike the US, where we sit in a deficit, like the US sits in trillions of dollars in negative money, Russia actually has like $600 billion in the bank. They're sitting on. Like they've been building up money for people getting caught.
Yeah.
You gotta think, we've been Putin's been under sanctions for a long time for other reasons.
Yeah.
So, but they're going to hit the Russian central bank, which means that money is not worth anything. So I feel bad for the Russian people because like
I feel very
their
bad.
money's worth nothing now globally.
And they can't do. Yeah, it's worth nothing globally, and they can't do anything, and they're essentially being cut off from the rest of the world.
I know.
You know, and I just hope that things simmer down.
Yeah.
Let's sue for peace. Look, man, take an L on
Nobody
this
wants
one.
war.
You know,
Nobody
better
wants
luck
war.
next time.
Hang the ego
know.
up.
Yeah.
Like egos are the worst. And you got to think though, Europe's taking a big hit too, because like by putting these sanctions in place, by doing this SWIFT thing, the SWIFT cutting these banks, it basically means that most of the oil, if you guys don't know, a lot of oil in Europe comes from Russia. There's a significant amount, like not all of it, but a significant chunk comes from Russia. Russia's a massive oil export country. That's where they
A
make
lot
most
of
of their
natural
money.
gas, a lot of oil. Yeah.
Yeah. And by cutting off SWIFT, it means no longer can Russia, because if you guys don't realize, oil is sold by the US dollar. So
Yeah.
everything has to convert to US dollar and then convert to your local country's currency to do oil exchange. So let's say you're going to buy oil in France. You would do a wire, do a purchase. You'd convert the franc to US dollars because that's how oil is priced, USD, globally. Because that way you have to pick one currency. So you just pick the US
Yeah.
dollar. And it could very well be the euro at one point, but right now it's the US dollar. It's been that way for a long time. And then you would convert it to, let's say, all right, if you're going to the Middle East, you can buy from Saudi Arabia, be whatever the Saudi Arabian currency is, or a Russian ruble, or whatever. So by him being removed from the SWIFT program, you can no longer purchase oil from Russia because they can't convert their money to the US dollar to
Yeah.
sell it to you because they can't transfer it.
Yep.
So it's going to be isolation. I feel bad. Like I said, I feel terrible. I mean, Mark, you and I both know
So many
one of your
good friends.
I don't know if he's still a coworker or not. Like when he,
Well, yeah, one of our former
Yeah.
coworkers.
super awesome
Maxime,
freaking dude.
what
Maxime
an amazing
is
human being.
dude, this guy is the pinnacle
Yeah.
of amazing human beings.
What a great guy.
I know.
It's just an amazing person, and it just sucks
I know.
that he has to deal with this right now. And
By the way, let me see your can. Is that can got texture in it? Like it looks like trees.
yeah, it does. It's got like
It's like a
pattern.
looks like a diamond
It's
plate.
patterned after the same Kokopin. It's like a, how do I put it? Yeah, Masaki texted Maxime.
yeah. Text
That's
Maxime.
great.
Maxime's such a great. I haven't talked to him in forever. He and I were last time I talked to him. He was
You don't know me.
yeah, we were doing shots of was it Russian vodka and a
I think we're
German,
doing
a
some kind of
traditional
stuff.
German. He's bringing shots of Russian vodka with lemon over at a German restaurant. That's the last time I saw him.
Oh, Oh yeah, that's right. We were at that big hall.
That huge
with,
hall with the pork. They served the
with
pork knuckles
Nomura-san
in
and
Nuremberg.
yeah. That's right. Yeah. So the can does have some texturing. It mirrors this, the Centauri whiskey bottle with the same kind of texturing.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, the Centauri
Yeah.
whiskey bottle has that pattern.
God,
Nice.
I love that Centauri whiskey. It's so good.
It is for the price.
It's very good.
It's
Oh, yeah,
so
it's-
amazing.
It's so cheap.
It's cheap's not the right word. 'Cause cheap implies not.
Oh,
Good.
it's so affordable.
It's super affordable, yeah, because it's like it punches way above its weight.
Oh yeah, nice smoky flavor.
Oh, the smoky,
Clean.
yeah,
You can mix it. You can drink it straight. You
yeah.
can drink it at 9 o'clock in the morning. It's good.
Really?
Yeah.
9
So
a.m.?
so the producer's sister and I and a bunch of our friends, we went on a like a boat party, like a junk, right? And 9 in the morning, we get on the boat. Producer's sister comes up to me and is like, "Hey, are we drinking or what?" I'm like, "I guess." I'm like, "What do you want? You want me to mix you a highball, a whiskey sour?" She goes, "Come on, man, give it to me straight up." I'm like, "Okay, all right."
Wow.
I'm like, "Crystal, it's 9."
She subscribes to the Jimmy Buffett rule of alcohol. Boats,
Yeah.
5
yeah.
o'clock somewhere.
Producer was very. Producer had to be the responsible one. Producer was like, "Guys, can you wait till like 9:30?"
Quarter past.
Yeah. Producer was very responsible.
So, yeah, it's interesting, man.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, let's hope cooler heads prevail, and I'm sure things will.
I hope.
I'm sure things will work themselves out. How they work themselves out, I think this week will be pretty important. Will be pretty
Yeah,
pivotal.
I think the next
week.
7 to 10 days is really going to see how this plays out. We're getting into peace talks. My gut, and from everything I've been reading from people on the inside, just I'm getting it's this information I'm fed. It seems like Russia expected this to be a steamroll.
Well, they said 96 hours.
Yeah, and we're at day 5, and
Yeah,
they're having to
it's-
call. Okay, so if you guys look, by the way, some of these sites will show you the vehicles that you see. So there's a Z with a box. Those are, so the Z is the Southern Forces. So the letter Z starts the word in Russian for south, so it's Z. Those are Southern Forces. So a lot of those have come from the
Crimea, right?
Crimea, Rostov, and all that. And there's a Z with a box. And I think those guys are. Hang on, I've got a list. Hang on, let me give you the proper info and not misinformation.
Yeah. Because the
Gallery.
last I looked as well, like at an actual like a updated situation map, they've really only incurred onto minor territory on the north as well as on the south and a bit on the east.
By the
Like,
way, I'm looking at my stuff and I'm having I find a photo of Masubi. Masubi.
Yo,
I found a Hawaiian place here.
That's huge, bro.
Dude, the Masubi is flicking massive. It's so good. I
the
found
size of your palm.
Yeah. It's this Hawaiian plate lunch place, man. Look at this.
Dude, it's
Look at this,
famine rice.
The shrimp with garlic. That's garlic on
Oh
top.
yes.
It's this plate lunch place here.
Producer, can we go have Hawaiian food?
Oh my gosh, bro, you have no idea. Shoot, can I find this? Let me Google it. Russian tank markings. Let's see. Russian tank. Well, mystery marking. Here we go. So, so I'll accept your stupid. Go away.
Is asking you to subscribe?
No,
Is that
accept
turn
your-
on notifications?
So I hate these. It's like looking at a recipe. You got to scroll to the bottom to find the actual recipe. Thank you,
Are you
Google,
look-
for giving me zero information from what I'm trying to look.
Are you still looking for tanks, or are you looking for like a?
I'm looking
food
for the
recipe?
markings. So like the vehicles, you can tell. So there's Z, Southern Forces, and they have different markings. They have the Z, they have a Z with
Yeah.
a box, and Z with a triangle. And those are different Southern units. They come from different areas.
Right.
Then you have the what's coming now is like you see that the Z's, and then there's there's a V group. Now the
Right.
V group is the Russian regular force. They're from like further north.
Right.
Um,
Kaliningrad or something like
Something
that.
like that. Yeah. Like I found a post on IG I thought I captured, but I didn't. Crud. That had what they were. And there's no way I can find it on IG now. So let me see. IF Nation? Do those guys have it? I'm looking, by the way. No, I think it's one of the other ones, links I sent you guys a second ago. I'm just going to go into.
There is a breakdown of units.
You find it?
No, my phone is.
Oh, your phone's used as a light.
Yeah, I can't.
Right. So anyway, there is a breakdown of what those letters mean, and they're starting to send the V units in. The V units are like the regular Russian. They're like Eastern Russian. They're like actually not stationed in that part of Russia. So the V stuff, and now they're talking about Belarus is starting to send people in. So I don't know.
I think they were they had like people from Chechnya being pro-Russian forces from Chechnya are being drafted to go and fight too. But I don't even know if it's true or not, like the veracity of this. But I think like 2 of their senior commanders got droned.
Yeah. Oh, have you seen the drones? The Ukrainians are using these Turkish drones now.
Mm-hmm.
There's some footage now. These Turkish drones just striking these armor columns. Because if you see the armor columns, they're just stacked up, man.
Yeah,
like it's unbelievable. I mean, I'm not a military guy. I don't know tactics, but like you start reading the comments, they're like, people's comments are like A-10 pilots like right now, and they're showing like a meme of like the guy biting their lip, like it's wild how stacked up they are. But I guess they're not worried because there's no air, but there's drones in the air. I guess
there's drones in the air. Well, let's hope things settle down and sue for peace, and hopefully, they realize that hey, a long drawn out.
Oh, by the way, I was wrong
conflict.
about the Portugal. It was Dutch and Spanish here in Taiwan.
Oh, Espanol.
So I got corrected by my producer. Said not Portugal. No. Dutch and Spanish rule. So all right, let me correct that. So obviously the producer's watching and correcting me. So let me not give misinformation in that case. So in Taiwan.
Come on, Jono.
No, man, I'm slacking. I don't know my Taiwan history that well. U.S. history I'm pretty good at though.
It's all good. It's only about 200 or so years you got to worry about.
I know, man. It's pretty short. It's got to worry about short little chunk.
That's big facts. Well, I guess that's a place we can kind of close it out for this week's episode. And next week, I can finally tell people kind of what I'm getting myself into soon.
I can't wait. Like it's
not
like me.
Too many details.
I dare say you teased people longer than I teased.
I think I teased people longer because there are some unexpected consequences that were out of my control. Okay, come on, bro.
I know.
I couldn't do it.
I have to bag on you because I'm like, you teased them longer than I did.
Look, next week all shall become clear.
Oh, can't wait.
I will let you guys know, kind of like what's going on, life stuff. I can't get into too many details, but like just kind of get you guys. I know some of you guys DM me and chit chat with me, and I've been telling you guys for the longest time, hey, I've been doing some life stuff. I'm very busy. I don't have time to play video games. And by the time I get to sit down, I'm tired, mentally and physically. And that's me saying I don't have the gym to go to as well.
I know you don't have the gym, and Freedom 762 is like go. Hey, Freedom, don't think we're ignoring you. I've seen your. Oh, I was just playing D2, Witch Queen. I saw your comment. Trust me, I've seen all of them. I know.
I wanna play, dude. That expansion is
I haven't installed
lit.
Dude, it's lit. Everybody's talking hot about it. We both play D2.
Super juicy. I really want to play it, but hey, I may get some time later on this year to be able to sit down and at least not this month, and you'll know why next week. But
I literally watched like a Warlock build video. I was like, oh, I should be playing.
Oh, so OP now, yeah. I know. Avoid 3.0 sounds legit. But I can't wait to share with you guys what's been going on, some of the excitement that's been happening. And so next week's gonna be good. Not too many details, but a general direction of where my life is going. And next week should be able to let you guys know. So tune in next week for the surprise announcement, the long-awaited
I'm
announcement.
looking forward to it, man. I
Yes.
can't wait for you to drop the bomb of happiness on the chat.
Oh, yeah.
Some positivity because we need it. I know this is like a mixed positive, negative, political. I mean, like, I hate to say bro commentary. It's very much. It's
Right.
very much Rogan-esque, you know, like let's just have a talk about stuff. I may not be right. I'm working, like Mark and I are both working with the information we have. Like, we're not experts. It's not news, but
Yeah.
just kind of giving some perspective on. I mean,
But it's
I literally have been like living in my phone, like reading as much as I can
haven't
about
we
this
all?
stuff.
Haven't we all? But I think it's good though. You know, it's good to be able to just kind of sit and chit chat and kind of like this is a big thing
Yeah.
that's been going on in the world, and it's not like we need to give our 2 cents into it, but it's good that this is an opportunity for you and I to talk about it too, and then you guys can kind of chip in with give you guys an opportunity to comment and chat and chip in with your opinion too, and we can all share our opinions here. I hate to use the fact that this is a safe space to do it, but it's a safe space to share your opinions.
Yeah.
So you
Like
know,
anything works here. Like we do
Yeah,
not
man.
judge, and
No
that's
judgment
the
at all.
coolest thing about what we do
Yeah.
is you can say what you want unless
Mm-hmm.
it's racist, sexist, or you know whatever.
yeah, heck, we'll even let you say that. We will all come out and disagree with you.
Yeah.
You
We'll
know?
call you
Yeah.
names to your face,
Yeah.
but you know it's cool. You can say it.
We'll call you what it is.
Yeah.
But you know, we're not gonna say you're not allowed. You know. So
It's true.
there you go.
So, well, guys and gals, as always, thank you
Yes.
for
thank
joining
you, thank you,
us
thank you.
on Monday morning, Monday afternoon, wherever you
Episode
live.
31, baby.
31, bro.
31.
Can you imagine? We're gonna blink. It's gonna be 52.
Oh
What?
man.
What?
It's gotta be
Now
it's gotta
we're gonna have
gotta
to
be
talk.
special.
We're gonna have to talk. When I'm in the States, you're gonna make me get up in the morning and do a show.
We're gonna have to figure something out. We're gonna have to figure something out, something real special.
Once we wrap this, I gotta figure out like, do we keep the time?
Well, when you're in the States, we'll figure it out. If not, we can do a pre-recorded.
Could. Well,
I
but-
mean, it won't be the
No,
same
we're not gonna do
experience.
pre-record. No, because everything's about the chat, man. We can't do pre-record. No,
Well, it
we
depends.
can't.
If you're on the East Coast, then I think it's not too bad if you wake up at 9.
By the way, I want to give you guys a little shameless self-promotion here for what I'm doing. For those of you that do follow me on my day job, like obviously Senpai Distribution Group is my been occupying 99.9% of my life. However, I'll let all of you hear into one little secret before we wrap up for the show. I have redesigned Airsoftology logo 3 V3, which, so if you guys know, Airsoftology's gone through its original logo, a revision. So the first one was done by me, and the second one was done by someone called Natalie Roman, who worked at my studio, my agent, my YouTube agent, but she was also a big airsofter as well. And a fan, she redesigned my logo for version 2.0, which is what we've been running since 6 years ago, 5-6 years ago. So like the first 5-6 years was one, the second 5-6 years was this. I've done a redesign for version 3, and Airsoftology is being relaunched. So we're gonna have a relaunch. We're still gonna stick with the help, support the community, answer questions and all that. I may not do the Q&A in the form it is now, but there will be a Q&A. It might be more often in bite-sized chunks instead of a longer format, multiple questions. It could be individual questions answered more frequently is kind of way we're going to be going with this. And we're going to see Airsoftology continue on. There's been a long gap since I did the end of Airsoftology question mark video. So for those of you who are people that watch Airsoftology, just want to let you guys know, because, hey, I got to promote myself on the platform, right?
Right, of course.
It's not dead, and we're here.
Yeah.
I'm coming back, and you're gonna see a new, fresh, updated version. Everything. So it's gonna be fresh coat of paint. You know, new car smell, essentially.
All I want to know is it going to help me out in the pinch.
It's gonna help you out. Actually, it may not help you out in a pinch. It may help you out. I don't know. I have to drop that tagline. I'm gonna try to change my tagline.
They're so good though. They help you in a pinch,
Yeah.
dude. That's like me saying www.rail for these cool products for many more. Go check out our online store www.railhairstyle.com. Dude, it's
Yeah,
the
true.
tagline.
Okay, fine. I'll keep the tagline. Fine.
Come on, bro.
Hey man, Code Red headsets. By the way, I gotta give a shout out to Code Red. If you guys haven't checked out Code Red, Herman says I still shout out Code Red headsets randomly because of you. Those guys are on it, man. They've got like legit, like hardcore ear pro now with like hear through. They've got like semi-pro. They've got tactical level stuff. I've got their like full on legit SWAT bone conducting headset in here. I'm talking like consumer grade. I'm talking like military police grade. Like these guys are putting out some killer stuff.
I believe it.
Yeah, and
I
they've got
believe
like
it.
full on
Good
like
people.
like you know like the helmet mount, like ear pro, like amplification. So they got some good stuff. So check out those guys. Even though they haven't sponsored me in a while, I'm taking a check from them in like probably a year and a half. But
It's so funny when Herman said I still shout Code Red headset randomly because of you. I imagine Herman just randomly shouting Code Red headsets, kind of like World Star.
yeah, he's just walking through like Kowloon,
Red.
you know, like coming out of a shop, you know, has finished his dumplings, like
Yeah.
Code Red headsets.
Dude, you see a fight on the ground. Like, you see the police arresting somebody for not having their mask on. Whoa, what? World Star, Code Red headsets, Raycon,
Raycon.
Raid Shadow Legends.
Raid Shadow Legends.
Dude, that would be the day. If we ever get sponsored by Raid Shadow
No.
Legends, that would be the
Raid
day.
Shadow Legends or Manscaped.
Oh, or can we like Raid Shadow Legends, Manscaped, or Raycons? One of those three.
Raycons, yeah, it's got to be one of the three.
Yeah, one of the
that's
three.
it. If we
Right.
if we do one of those three, we've sold out. By the way,
Yeah.
I've had Raid Shadow Legends ask me. I probably got 30 emails from those guys.
See, E-House got it. Raycon, come on now.
Yeah, man, I probably had at least 30 emails from Raid Shadow Legends, and I actually thought about doing one that was totally tongue in cheek. I'll be like, hey, I'll do it with you guys, but you got to let me do it this way. Yeah, World of Tanks. That's another one.
God,
So-
it's so nice seeing you in chat, E-House.
Yeah.
Miss you, bro.
Miss
Miss
you,
you, buddy.
bro. Oh man, hey, when I'm in the States, you guys come down to Tennessee, come visit. You're welcome. Keep your BB
that's so good.
BB smooth with Manscaped.
Dustin, thank you. Thank you for hanging out with us all the way from Ohio.
Oh, 10 a.m. in Ohio, 11 p.m.
Well-
you're actually in my family's time zone. You're Ohio Central, so
Here's a joke that never gets old. Ohio,
Ohio gozaimasu.
Ohio, gozaimasu. Ohio,
gozaimasu.
gozaimasu. All right, I think that's enough for today.
That's a American / Japanese joke. So, all right, and on that terrible
Yeah, on that-
bombshell,
Yes.
we're gonna wrap
God,
this
we're
episode
not even
up.
dads yet. Have a great one, everybody. Stay hopped up.
Stay hopped up. See you guys next
Yeah. See you next week.